around us, and here at Lancer Central, we're ready for our last episode of the month of October. Make sure you save the date for the Spooky Slugfest on Tuesday, October 29th. That's Longwood Baseball's annual Halloween-themed scrimmage and trick-or-treat event that's open to families. It hits Buddy Bowling Stadium that night at 5 p.m. For our fall sports, the seasons are winding down. In women's soccer, Kennedy Colbreth punched home a golden goal to lift the Lancers past UNC Asheville and into the Big South tournament. Now the team has 2 matches left this week to qualify for seeding. Sophia Loescher had a golden goal of her own to lead field hockey past Appalachian State, and the team has only 1 conference matchup left at Kent State. Men's soccer winds down the season with 3 Big South matches and a trip to Virginia Tech. Both golf teams are on the course this week for their final fall tournaments as well. Plus, Longwood Cross Country had its last tune-up before the Big South Championship on November 2nd. In tennis, the men's team heads to the Big South Invitational on October 25th, while the women's team plays at the ITA Regionals on the same day. Oh, and basketball's nearly here. Lancer Madness is set for Tuesday, October 22nd at 9 p.m. Then both teams tip off the season in November. Rundown complete? Always check longwoodlancers.com for up-to-the-minute scores, stats, and stories. With basketball season rolling around, we here at Lancer Central decided to take this chance and look a little bit at basketball schedules for both the men's and women's teams. We're not going to try to drive into conference games. Those games, they all matter. Exactly. But non-conference, I think there's a lot of fun to look at both the men's side and the women's side.
Right, exactly. And give credit to both coaches, Becca Tillett for the women and Griff Aldrich for the men, not taking the out-of-conference lightly and building their team for when it comes around to conference play. Looking at the women's basketball out-of-conference slate, though, 2 really hard road tests open the year at James Madison as well as at Florida, an SEC powerhouse. Then you come back home for a couple of road games that you and I take interest in. The one I'm putting my money on against East Carolina, a team that's a very good mid-major school in the same region. Opportunity to see where you stand against them.
And for me, I actually am going to go a little bit different tack. I'm going to take that Brown game. So they start out the year 2 games on the road, 2 games at home, and then they flip-flop back and forth. Road game, home game, road game, home game. So you don't really have this long extended homestand, but you do have 2 at home early on. And I think it's really important for Longwood to say, hey, we can finish strong. Let's finish out this homestand really strong, pick up a win against a Brown team, Ivy League. They've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores on the squad, so that's a really good chance for them to pick up a big home win.
And a common theme with both games we're looking at, as opposed to the 2 road games early on, you're going to have a better idea of where this women's basketball team stands as opposed to those first 2 games. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get the continuity together and get the game plan all sorted out.
And you better know quickly for men's basketball, you start out the year with a couple of really big road tests.
Yeah, and looking at that road slate, or out-of-conference slate in specific for the men's basketball team at George Mason, 2nd game of the year, one of the best teams inside the Atlantic 10, one of the best mid-major conferences in the NCAA. You're going to have to find out quick what this men's basketball team has in store.
And for me, I'm actually going to look and say at the game against Pacific, that's Thanksgiving weekend. I thought that Longwood last year had some really big team bonding moments, some really big, just really strong games over the course of that. They learned a lot about the team up in Seattle. Well, this year it's a little bit of a different trip. It's not 3 games in 3 days. It's 2 games over the course of Thanksgiving week in California, but they're going to match up with Pacific, a team that is a little bit higher than them in the net rankings, a little bit higher than them in the Ken Pom rankings, some advanced analytics, stuff like that. But it's an opportunity to level up. You're playing a team that was pretty good at home last year. Now you want to have some of those big wins. That's a good opportunity to get one.
And another commonality of those games, this team played great at home. Now we want to see how they play away from Jerome Kersey Court.
Next time, we'll actually be talking real basketball here on Lancer Central because November rolls around and that's when all the basketball starts.
You know what time it is? It's time for the Lancer Central Top 6 Plays of the Week. And you'll see a lot of great goaltending. We'll kick things off with Madison Van Dyke. A shot comes in from point blank, right outside the 6, gets the forearm up to come away with a big save.
We'll stick with the soccer team, switch to the men's side though. Beautiful goal for the Lancers. It starts though with a pinpoint pass right on the money, and Michaela Bondo slips it in.
That goal was great, but not all goals created equal. How about a golden goal? This one from Sophia Loescher. Perfect entry play in overtime against App State. Loescher takes care of business, gives Longwood the win.
Deflections are awesome as well. We'll slide on to number 3. Women's soccer. Let's stick with the goals. We've got Madison Lockamy. She does it again, just barely off the tips.
And going back to goaltending, there's aggressive. And then there's Katie Wyman style of aggressive. Comes all the way out, kicks it away. Fields a shot from right outside the shooting circle, midway out of the circle. What a stop from Wyman. That then sets up the golden goal.
How do you top that? The really hard question, TJ. Well, it's got to come with this. Beautiful play. Marcus Gronley tackles it away. And what's he doing? Can you seriously believe your eyes? Yes! Not only a goal, but the game winner. Ball game in overtime.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of Lancer Central. For Sam Hovan and our entire Lancer Central production crew, my name's TJ Wingert, and until next time, we are signing off.